whenever I start drawing something, I feel like I always end up in the same place, and it's always drawing stuff that I guess that I wish my life looked like, or that I don't know, just has been like my natural instinct ever since like 90s Nickelodeon. In this drawing I'm using Arrtx markers, and I like them a lot because they're like really thick and opaque, but not too opaque. You can draw over each other. Well, I guess that means they're opaque. I don't know what these art words mean. And I think I saw a photo of a building sort of similar to this online, and then I was just trying to draw something that made my eyes happy and my childhood brain happy, because I kind of have not progressed since, I don't know, 7 years old or so. And I recently realized that I always draw these types of blobby, bright, a lot of orange and green and purples and whatnot. It was when I was 2, my family took us on a driving vacation from upstate New York to Orlando, Florida, to go to the beach and to go to Universal and all that. And I know I was only 2. I know this because I know, like, that's what I was told, and I guess like the dates check out. I think I checked into it once. And I have since discovered through EMDR therapy that a lot of my issues stem from trauma from that trip, including but not limited to driving down to Florida in like a 13 passenger van with like the different rows of seats and trying bubblegum for the first time, and it was grape flavored. And I remember kneeling on the back seat, and I was a kid that had like sensory issues before people knew what those were. And in fact, I even think I'm embarrassed now to say that I still have sensory issues. I can't touch certain fabrics, like velvet and felt has taken like my entire lifetime to be able to deal with them. And if it's like a very, very soft velvet, I can't do it. I actually have goosebumps right now thinking about it. I will not show those because, yeah, I'm not showing anything. And so I was in the van, and I had this gum on my tongue, and I was like, I don't like it, take it. And my mom was like, no, just swallow it. What do you want me to do about it? That's her famous line. What do you want me to do about it? Which she also said one time when I had a bumblebee stuck in the chin strap, like the clasp of my bicycle helmet, and the stinger was stuck in my throat, and my house door was locked, as she would do when I would go play outside. She would lock me outside, and I was banging on the door, and she was on the phone, with the big cord, the big twirly cord, and she was like, what do you want? And I was like, I have a bee stinger stuck in my throat. And she shut the door on me and was like, ugh. Like, I don't know if she didn't hear me or if she didn't care or if she was going to hang up, but either way, she shut and locked the door on my face while I had a bee stinger stuck in my throat. But I digress. This trip to Florida. So I remember that they wouldn't take the gum from me, and I had to swallow it, and I felt sick afterwards. I think I didn't like the stickiness or the chewiness or the artificial flavor or whatever, and I have not chewed gum ever since. And I hate hard candy, and I hate artificial fruit flavors. I cannot do any of it. I have 2 kids, and like, I'm fine with all the chocolate in the world, but once you get to that sticky, gooey stuff, I'm out. Like, that's beyond my strength in my parenting ability and my sensory issues ever. But the other thing that happened on that trip was we were down in Florida. We'd driven with some other family. I don't know how my parents knew them. My dad was a police officer, so maybe the dad was also a police officer. And I'm just making sure I'm recording here. And my dad was also a police officer. And they had a daughter who I think was about my age, maybe a little bit older. We had tickets to go to the Nickelodeon Studios recording. I think it was like of What Would You Do or something like that in the actual studios. And they were late meeting us there. And instead of going in without them, my parents waited for them, and we never went in. And so I never saw the inside of Nickelodeon Studios. And I still feel very angry about it to this day, because Nickelodeon, especially like after that, because I was only 2 at that time, like it felt like my only kind of like community that I had in a weird way, because they're always showing real kids, having fun in the summer and doing all this stuff and like stickly. I felt like he was talking directly to me. And that's corny to say, but I just love the whole aesthetic, and maybe I love the whole aesthetic because it was something I could never have. I could never go back to 90s Nickelodeon Studios. My parents really messed that one up. But ever since then, I've just been obsessed with like that kind of thing and that feeling. And sometimes I even watch long YouTube videos of old Nickelodeon Snick lineups and commercials and stuff. And I think I'm just like, everything in my adult life is just trying to like capture that cozy feeling, that cozy aesthetic, and like everything from that time. And maybe it's all because I never got to do that and was traumatized by it. Yeah, maybe that's it. All my life's problems are, and my entire artistic aesthetic and lack of growth is because I still need to process that trauma of not going into the studio and not meeting Mark Summers. And I think if I were slimed, I would have had an absolute meltdown. But watching other people slime seemed fine. And later, my mom sort of made up for it, like a tiny, tiny bit, because Nickelodeon would do these tours where they would go to arenas. And she made me and my friend Dominic like a full like jumpsuit. Like I had a bright orange one with green handprints, and he had a bright green one with orange handprints. And we went there, and I had a visor that had a hand on it that said, "Pick me." And the host at that time, I don't know if it was Mark Summers or if it was, I feel like it was Donnie from Wild and Crazy Kids, but I can't remember. My mom and I have different memories of it, but he walked through the audience, like up in the stands, to try to find a little kid to do a part of one of the challenges. And he looked at me and said, "Oh, she's too cute." And then he scooped me up and brought me into the middle of the arena. And my job was to put a gigantic letter in a mailbox and shut it. And I think we did what we were supposed to do. They did not slime me, probably because they saw how little I was. And yeah, I think that's when I peaked. My peak creative progression and satisfaction with life happened on that day.